Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and as always, I'm so happy that you're spending a few minutes of your day with us to improve your English.
And I'm Julia. We hope you're having an amazing day wherever you're listening from, whether you're at home, on the bus, walking outside, or taking a study break. Thank you for joining us today.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever listened to someone speaking English fluently and thought, wow, how does their brain work so fast? Why can't I speak like that?
Or maybe you've studied English for years, learned lots of grammar rules and vocabulary, but when it's time to speak, your mind suddenly goes blank. If that sounds familiar, don't worry. You are definitely not alone.
Because in today's episode, we're going to talk about something exciting. How to unlock your fluent English brain and train your mind to think, understand, and speak English more naturally and confidently.
And the best part is that you don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to know thousands of difficult words. You simply need the right habits and the right way of practicing.
So, stay with us, because by the end of this episode, you'll discover simple but powerful secrets that can help you become a more fluent English speaker. Let's get started.
So, Jason, before we talk about how to unlock a fluent English brain, I think we should answer an important question. What exactly is a fluent English brain? Does it mean having a perfect accent? Does it mean knowing every English word in the dictionary?
That's a great question, Julia. And the answer is no. A fluent English brain is not a brain that knows everything. In fact, even native English speakers don't know every word in English. A fluent English brain is simply a brain that can understand, think, and respond in English naturally and without too much stress.
I love that explanation because many English learners believe that they need thousands and thousands of vocabulary words before they can speak fluently. But that's not true at all.
Exactly. Fluency is not about having perfect grammar or using difficult words. It's about communication. It's about hearing a question and being able to answer it without spending 10 or 20 seconds translating every single word in your mind.
Think about it this way. When someone asks you, "How are you?" in your native language, you don't stop and think about grammar rules. You answer naturally because your brain has practiced that language for many years.
And that's exactly what happens with English fluency. Your brain slowly creates new connections. The more you listen, read, think, and speak in English, the stronger those connections become. After some time, English starts feeling more natural and less like a school subject.
So, if you're listening right now and thinking, maybe my brain isn't good at languages, please change that thought immediately. Every brain can learn a language. Every brain can become more fluent.
Absolutely. The secret is not having a special brain. The secret is training your brain in the right way and giving it enough practice every single day. All right, everyone. Let's talk about the first big secret to unlocking your fluent English brain, and this one might surprise you. If you want to speak English more naturally, you need to stop translating every single sentence from your native language into English.
Oh, yes. This is something that almost every English learner does. Someone asks a simple question in English, and before answering, the learner first thinks in their own language, then tries to translate the sentence into English, checks the grammar, searches for the right words, and only then starts speaking.
Exactly. And by that time, the conversation has already moved on. Translation makes your brain work much harder than it needs to. It's like trying to run while carrying a heavy backpack. You can still move, but you're much slower.
The good news is that you don't have to translate forever. You can train your brain to think directly in English. And it starts with very small and simple things.
For example, when you wake up in the morning, don't think, "How do I say this in English?" Instead, just look around and say simple English sentences in your mind. I'm awake. It's sunny today. I need breakfast. I'm getting dressed.
Those sentences may sound easy, but they are incredibly powerful because you're teaching your brain to connect ideas directly with English words. You're building an English pathway inside your mind.
Another great exercise is to describe what you're doing throughout the day. If you're drinking tea, say, "I'm drinking tea." If you're studying, say, "I'm studying English." These little moments become daily speaking practice for your brain.
And don't worry if your sentences are short or simple. Fluency doesn't begin with long, complicated sentences. It begins with simple thoughts that you can say quickly and confidently.
Remember this. Your goal is not to create perfect English in your head. Your goal is to train your brain to react in English naturally. The less you translate, the faster and more confidently you'll speak.
So, here's today's challenge. For the next few minutes after this podcast, try thinking only in simple English. Describe your room, your plans, or your feelings. It may feel strange at first, but little by little, your fluent English brain will start to wake up. Now let's move on to our second secret. Feed your brain with English every single day. Jason, I think this is one of the most important habits for becoming fluent.
I completely agree, Julia. Think about your brain like a garden. If you water a plant every day, it grows strong and healthy. But if you water it only once a month, it struggles to grow. Your English works exactly the same way. Your brain needs English every day to become comfortable with the language.
That's such a great example. Sometimes learners study English for 3 or 4 hours on one day and then don't practice again for an entire week. Then they wonder why they forget words or don't improve quickly.
Exactly. Fluency doesn't come from studying a lot one time. It comes from having regular contact with English. Even 15 or 20 minutes a day can make a huge difference if you do it consistently.
And feeding your brain with English doesn't mean you have to sit at a desk all day. You can listen to an English podcast while walking, watch a short video while eating lunch, read a simple story before bed, or even change your phone language to English.
The more English your brain sees and hears, the more familiar it becomes. After a while, your brain starts recognizing common words, expressions, and sentence patterns automatically. That's when English begins to feel natural instead of difficult.
It's almost like training your ears and your mind at the same time. The more English you hear, the less strange it sounds, and the faster you understand it.
That's right. And remember, you don't need difficult materials. Start with easy English that you can enjoy and understand. Listen to topics that interest you. If you enjoy what you're learning, you'll want to practice every day.
So, here's our challenge for you. Give your brain a daily dose of English. Even 10 or 15 minutes of listening, reading, or speaking every day can slowly transform your English skills.
Because every minute of English you hear is like food for your fluent English brain. Feed it every day, and little by little, it will become stronger, faster, and more confident. All right, everyone. It's time for secret number 3. Train your mouth and your brain together. This is a mistake that so many English learners make. They spend months or even years reading grammar books and memorizing vocabulary, but they hardly ever open their mouths and actually speak English.
That's so true, Jason. Speaking is a skill, just like playing a musical instrument or learning to ride a bicycle. You can't become a great piano player just by reading a book about music, and you can't become a confident English speaker just by studying grammar rules.
Exactly. Your brain may know a lot of English, but your mouth also needs practice. Your tongue, your lips, and your pronunciation muscles need to get used to making English sounds. The more you speak, the easier and more natural it becomes.
Think about a professional athlete. They don't just learn the rules of the game, they practice every day. In the same way, if you want your English to become fluent, your brain and your mouth must work together as a team.
One of the best ways to do this is through a technique called shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a short sentence in English and then immediately repeating it. You copy the pronunciation, the rhythm, and even the emotion in the speaker's voice.
For example, if you hear someone say, "I'm really excited about today," pause the audio and say the same sentence out loud. Repeat it 2 or 3 times until it feels natural. This simple exercise trains your ears, your brain, and your mouth at the same time.
Another great exercise is talking to yourself in English. I know it might sound a little funny, but it works. Describe what you're doing, talk about your plans, or tell yourself about your day. The important thing is to keep your mouth moving and keep producing English.
And please don't be afraid of making mistakes. Every mistake is proof that you're practicing and growing. Nobody speaks perfectly in the beginning, and that's completely okay.
Remember this: fluency doesn't come from silent studying. Fluency comes from using the language again and again. So, train your brain with English and train your mouth to speak it. When they work together, your confidence and fluency will improve much faster.
So today, challenge yourself to speak out loud for at least 5 minutes. It doesn't matter if you're alone. The more you speak, the more your fluent English brain will begin to wake up and work naturally. Now we're ready for our 4th and final secret. Build confidence and stop fear. Jason, I think fear is one of the biggest reasons why so many people struggle to speak English.
I completely agree, Julia. Many learners know more English than they think they do, but they stay silent because they're afraid. They're afraid of making mistakes, afraid of forgetting words, or afraid that other people will laugh at them.
And sadly, that fear becomes a wall between them and fluency. The more they worry about being perfect, the less they actually speak. But here's the truth. You do not need perfect English to communicate.
Exactly. Think about little children learning their first language. They make mistakes all the time. They say words incorrectly. They use the wrong grammar. And sometimes they create funny sentences. But nobody expects them to be perfect. They simply keep speaking, and little by little, they improve.
English learners need to have that same attitude. Instead of saying, "I can't speak because my English isn't perfect," try saying, "I will speak because speaking is how I improve."
That's such a powerful mindset. Remember, every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. Every confident speaker made mistakes. Every person who speaks English well today had moments when they felt nervous or embarrassed.
And here's something important for our listeners. Most people don't care if your English is perfect. They care if they can understand your message. Communication is more important than perfection.
Absolutely. So, don't let fear control your learning journey. Speak even when you're nervous. Speak even when you're unsure. Every time you open your mouth and use English, you're training your brain to become more confident.
Confidence doesn't come before speaking. Confidence comes from speaking. The more you practice, the more comfortable you become, and the more comfortable you become, the more fluent you sound.
So today, make a promise to yourself. I will stop being afraid of mistakes. I will speak English with courage. I will focus on progress, not perfection.
Because your fluent English brain is already inside you. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to start speaking. Start today, make mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward with confidence.
Before we finish today's episode, we want to give you a simple daily challenge that can help you unlock your fluent English brain. The best part is that it only takes about 5 minutes a day, but if you do it consistently, you can make amazing progress over time.
That's right. Remember, fluency is not built in one day. It's built through small actions that you repeat every single day. So here's your challenge.
Step number 1. Spend 1 minute thinking in English. Look around you and describe what you can see. You can say things like, I'm sitting in my room, the weather is hot today, or I'm getting ready to study.
Step number 2. Learn 3 new English words every day. Don't just memorize them. Try to make simple sentences with them. When you use new words and sentences, your brain remembers them much better.
Step number 3. Speak in English for 2 minutes. Talk about your day, your plans, your family, or even your favorite food. You don't need a partner. You can speak to yourself, record your voice, or talk in front of a mirror.
And finally, step number 4. Listen to 1 minute of English audio. It can be a podcast, a short video, or even a song. The goal is to give your brain a little bit of English every single day.
These activities may sound simple, but don't underestimate them. Small daily habits create big results. 5 minutes today, 5 minutes tomorrow, and before you know it, your brain will start understanding and speaking English much more naturally.
So we challenge every listener today. Try this 5-minute routine for the next 7 days. Stay consistent, trust the process, and watch how your confidence and fluency begin to grow. Well, everyone, we've reached the end of today's episode, and let's quickly remember the 4 secrets we talked about today. First, stop translating every sentence. Second, feed your brain with English every day. Third, train your mouth and your brain together. And fourth, build confidence and stop being afraid of making mistakes.
That's right, Julia. And if there's one message we want you to remember today, it's this. You already have the ability to become a fluent English speaker. You don't need a special talent, a perfect accent, or thousands of difficult words. You simply need patience, practice, and the courage to keep going.
Some days your English will feel easy, and some days it will feel difficult. That's completely normal. Every small step you take, every new word you learn, every sentence you speak, and every minute you spend listening to English is helping your fluent English brain grow stronger.
So, don't give up on yourself. Keep practicing, keep believing in your progress, and remember that every fluent speaker was once a beginner, just like you.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We truly hope this episode inspired you to take another step toward your English-speaking goals.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the podcast, share it with your friends, and join us again for another exciting English lesson.
Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep unlocking your fluent English brain.
Goodbye, everyone, and see you in the next episode.